All right, so thanks everyone for being here. My name is Kathy Reuter, and it is, what is the date today? July 19th. And this is our second week in the Diamond Dash. So I hope that you guys are enjoying it. Personally, this has been, for me, the best one that I've ever been a part of. I love it. I love the engagement. I've loved watching all of your why videos. It was so inspiring and so motivating. So thank you for getting vulnerable and sharing all of that with us. So this week, we are focusing on building your team and recruiting with confidence. So before I dive into this, tomorrow night we are having our live 1-hour coaching blitz that is going to kick off at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just make sure, a couple of tips that I want you guys to write down, and I'm going to also post this tomorrow in the Coach Blitz groups that you guys don't forget. But there's so many people, so it's a lot of fun and it's really engaging and it's so pumped up and it's a lot of energy and all that. But it can also get a little overwhelming to people who are in there learning about this. So a couple of things that we decided on is to please not tag your people that you have added into the group. So like when the posts go up and things like that, don't tag your people. Just let it be and let them read it over and engage in it, as it pops up. Also, to tell your prospects that you add into the group to turn off the notifications for the group, because I heard that was one of the things that was getting really stressful to new people, was that they kept hearing these notifications over and over again. And we're going to post the instructions for all of this tomorrow, so you'll know exactly what to do and exactly what to tell your people who you invited to it. So definitely make sure that you're taking advantage of this opportunity tomorrow night. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. All right, so tonight we're going to be talking about building your team and recruiting with confidence. So I am going to go over 5 really important tips here throughout the night, and I'm going to dive into them into more detail. But if you want to write them all down now so that you know the 5 different points that I'm going to go over, you can go ahead and do that. So before I let you know what those 5 things are, I just want everyone to, be aware that this is a relationship building business. So just remember that at the heart of everything is that these are people that we're dealing with every single day. And it's so important to remember to remain a friend to these people. Talk to them as if you're talking to a friend. Really take the time to get to know them and vice versa. That's so important. And whenever you are talking to anybody, always show confidence and enthusiasm. This is totally key when it comes to building your team and building your business. All right, so it's a lot easier to talk about our health and fitness journey and to invite to our challenge groups and to post about our challenge groups. But for a lot of people, a lot of times they get nervous when it comes time to talk about the business opportunity and to invite people to it. No one knows really where to start, what they should say, how to go about doing it. But I can tell you guys, just with everything else in life, it really does come with practice. The more that you practice it, the more you talk about it, the more people you talk to about this and share what coaching has done for you and your family, the easier it becomes. And then it just becomes second nature. Okay? So the 5 points that I'm going to go over tonight on how to build your team. The first one is posting regularly on your wall about coaching. And so think of that list that you guys made today for your activity in the group. I'm sure that you guys were surprised with actually how many things that were on your list, and a lot of you probably could have added even more. Okay? The next point that I'm going to talk about on how to build your team is taking advantage of any of your upline coaches' business opportunity events that are being run. Or if you're doing your own, that's awesome. So whether it's a coach sneak peek, it's a webinar, it's a coach blitz like we're doing tomorrow night, taking advantage of that. The third way is seeking out challengers in your challenge groups. That's a really important one. The fourth way is by personally looking and searching for people who you think would make great coaches on your team. And the last way is doing the things that a successful business builder coach does to attract those business builders to you. So I'm going to go over all of those. All right, so I want to start out with posting on social media about this. So a lot of times, guys, people don't know that you're coaches, right? So it's so important, and you can work off of your list that you have, and you can keep adding to it. But you want to make sure that you are sharing on Facebook or whatever social media platform that you use what coaching has done for you, why you became a coach, why you love it so much. You want people to see, you know, what's in it for them. Why would someone want to be a part of your team? And no one's going to know unless you talk about it frequently, multiple times every single week, and being consistent with those posts. Okay, this takes time, but over time, guys, you will attract people to your team by doing this. Okay, I always tell my coaches a really good rule of thumb is at the end of every single day, scroll through your wall and ask yourself, if a stranger were to look at your wall right now, would they be able to tell that you are a coach and that you're running your own business? Or do you just look like someone who's into health and fitness? There's a really big difference, because I have a lot of friends who post recipes all the time, and they post, you know, workout pictures all the time and things at the gym, but they're not coaches. They're definitely motivating and they're inspiring, but they're not running a business. And you want people to be able to tell that you are running your own business and that you are a coach, okay? Whatever you are posting about is what you will attract. So definitely making sure that you are throwing in there a combination of your recruiting and challenge groups is totally key, guys, because if you're talking about, you know, Shakeology and the differences in the way you feel, and then your workouts and your challenge groups and your recipes, you're gonna attract challenges to you all the time. But as soon as you start talking about coaching, that's when those people will start being attracted to you. So you have to talk about it in order to attract it to you. All right. Another great tip too is that anytime that we have like these coach blitzes coming up, or whatever your upline coach runs, or if you run your own, always take advantage of letting your challenge groups know, or any free groups that you have running. I always do that for the team as well. Anytime I'm running like a free 7-day clean eating group, or if it's, you know, any kind of group that we have going on, a 21-day fix challenge group, I always will post in there whenever we have our coaching blitz coming up, because those are really the best people to target, because they're loving the programs and they're loving the products, and they're curious about what you do and how you earn an income and how you've built this into a business. So don't forget to post in those groups. Always make sure that when you are posting, that you post with confidence, and you want to be enthusiastic, and you want to be excited all the time, because people want to be a part of that. They want to be a part of something that's fun and that's engaging and that's exciting. So you need to post like that. And even if you're not anywhere near where you need to be, you need to act as if you are already there. Okay? And one of the best videos I think that I ever watched since becoming a coach myself, and it's been almost 2 years now, was I listened to a call almost a year ago by Bonnie Engel, who's the #2 coach in the company this year. And she did a whole call about how she shares on social media the objections that she's getting from people. She publicly addresses objections that people are telling her about why they think they can't coach. And honest to God, that completely changed things for my business. It was a year ago when I listened to that. It made total sense, right? Because a lot of these people that you're talking to all the time, these objections that they have, you all had the exact same ones probably right before you became a coach, right? So you had those objections too, but addressing it publicly and then talking about how you felt the exact same way and then how you overcame that, it shows a lot, because people are watching and reading every single post that you're making, guys, even if you're not getting any likes on it, and even if you're not getting any comments on it. They're reading and watching every single post. So for an example, if you wanted to check out my wall tonight, I did the same exact thing. I was talking to a girl earlier this morning, and she really wanted to become a coach, but she said, you know, I'm really nervous. I'm nowhere near where I want to be with my health and fitness. I literally have no before and after pictures to show. And so guess what? I thought the exact same thing too. And if she has that objection, so many other people, guys, are thinking and feeling the exact same way. So if you can address that publicly for other people to see, it's going to reach and answer that many other people's questions who are even considering becoming a coach on your team. So you can check it out later if you want to see for an example, but I try to do that now all the time, address publicly those objections, and I relate it back to myself, and I personalize it, and I talk about it, and I just speak from the heart and just be yourself, and it truly, truly helps. That is when I started getting more people to come towards me, because I was addressing these things like that. Okay? Don't be afraid too to share success from your team. So you always want to make sure that you are sharing like how great your team is doing, even if you only have one coach or two coaches, right? Share that success. You can even, you know, go to your challengers and of course ask for permission, but share their progress, share their success, you know, because you want people seeing you and watching you and seeing you that, you know, wow, like she has a team that is doing awesome things. Like it's not just her whole team. There are other people on there having success. I can have this success too. Okay. Lots of energized today, guys. And also too, I remember reading, there was a post in the wall. It's this group on Facebook for Beachbody for 5-star diamonds and above. But I remember them doing a poll about, and taking like a tally, that it took the average person about 3 to 6 months of watching their coach before they actually decided to become a coach. So for 3 to 6 months, guys, people are watching you. They're seeing if you're serious about this. They're seeing how consistent you're going to be. And that is why it's so important that you remain consistent with these posts all the time, every single day, week after week after week, even when you don't really feel like doing them, even when you think no one's watching. Trust me, they're watching. You have to do that because, guys, when the time is right for them, they are going to go to you. They're going to go to you because they're going to see you as that reliable, trustworthy, consistent person who's having success, and they want success, so they're going to go to you versus somebody else who's posting every single day, right? So you want them to go to you. All right, and don't be worried too, guys. This is one other thing I wanted to mention. Definitely when you make coaching opportunity posts, like anything about coaching, you're going to get a lot less traction. That's just the way it is, right? I mean, I can put a picture up of, you know, my 2 kids driving around in the Jeep outside, and I'll get like 80 likes, and then I'll make a post about coaching, something about coaching, and I'll get like 14. It's just the way it is. So don't overthink it. Don't take it personally. Just remember, there are eyes on you and they are watching. All right. So the next way that I wanted to talk about how to build your team is by taking advantage of your upline coaches or your own coaching opportunity events. So like I said, whether it's a coach sneak peek, whether it's a blitz, whether it's a webinar, whatever it is that you or your upline coach does, make sure that you are always, always, always adding people into that and taking advantage of that information. Literally, all the work is done for you. The work is completely done for you, so the pressure is totally off you, and all you need to do is now invite to it. And you can use those scripts, so save those scripts from yesterday that was posted in the group, and just simply ask. You know, we're not breaking anybody's arms here, guys, right? We're just asking them if they want to be a part and learn more about what we do. The worst thing that's going to happen, guys, is that they're going to say no thanks, or they're going to ignore you. And you're going to be surprised with how many people actually say, yeah, add me in. I've been watching you and I'm curious to see, you know, what this is all about. So make sure that you take advantage of those. It's a huge waste if you don't add anybody into these groups. A huge, huge, huge waste. All right. So I always tell my coaches, make it a priority to at least get 10 people into these events. 10 people in there seeing and learning what this is all about, because it is a numbers game, guys. And those 10 people who might have told you yes, you know, they're not going to all go in there. They're not going to all remember or want to be part of it, you know, so it is a numbers game. So the more, the better. That's the way I look at it. And two, also at the conclusion of any of these business events, it's so important to follow up. I feel like a lot of times people forget that piece, but tomorrow night when we have our Coach Blitz, the next day, okay, and hopefully you guys all have a list of people that you've been adding to it. You're going to want to message every single one of those people. You're going to want to private message them, and you're going to want to just simply say to them, like, hey, say their name. I always like to say their name. Like, hey, Alicia, thanks so much for being a part of the Blitz. What did you like the best about it? If you say something like that, then they're more inclined to respond with an answer versus, hey, so what'd you think of the Coaching Blitz? I used to do that in the past, and I learned that by me coming out and actually asking them, what did you like the most about it? What did you enjoy the best? I was getting a much better response rate from people who I was adding into these events. All right. And obviously too, guys, these events are great for you to take advantage of. Definitely be in them, be engaged, become a sponge, absorb it all. But at the end of the day, your goal is to, as quickly as possible, be off and running your own. Because you want people you are adding into this group to see you as the leader, okay? So it's a great place to start, but very shortly after, you want to be off doing your own. And you know what, guys? Honestly, the Coaching Blitz is the best way to start to branch off on your own and start to do your own and become like the leader of your team. It's a really great way to start. All right, the third way that I recruit and build my team is by taking advantage of the challengers in my challenge groups. So this is really important, guys. Kim Carver, he did a call and he said that 70% of diamond coaches in the network started out in a challenge group as challengers. And it makes total sense, right? Because one of the major keys to having success and building this business is that you need to love the products and the programs, right? Like you need to love it. You need to love it so much, and you have that belief in it. And so that's why the success rate for challengers becoming coaches is so high, and they're much more likely to stay around and stick around for the long haul, especially too, guys, because anybody who has gone through a health and fitness program, you know, and they started out, you know, at the beginning of their journey, and then they worked their way day by day, slowly over time to where they wanted to go, right? They're much more likely to stick with it in the business too, because they understand that things are not going to happen overnight and that things take time. But if they at least just show up every day and do a little bit, they're going to get to where they're going. All right, so I always keep a really close eye on the challengers in my groups who are engaging a lot. So keep an eye out for those people who they're posting in the groups, they're supporting others, they're commenting, they're liking a lot of the posts, they're coming to you and they're sharing with you how much they love the programs and the products. They're sharing their results, people who are seeing really great results. And then simply, guys, just come out and ask them. Like, it really is so simple. All you have to do is just say like, hey, you know, you are really loving the programs and the products. You know, I love your results. You must feel so great. You know, I really think you'd make a good coach on the team. Have you ever considered even learning about what we do? And that's it. Simply just ask. And you know what? A lot of times, guys, they'll say, yeah, you know what? I'm curious. I've been watching what you were doing. It seems so much fun. And that's where you can plug them into like the Coaching Blitz or the webinars or the coach sneak peeks. Okay. Yes. So we are not twisting anybody's arms, guys. It's so true too. You know, you really do want to remember in the back of your mind through all of this, like how awesome it is to be a part of this and how thankful you are to your coach for telling you about this and how it's changed your life. And that's what you need to think about anytime that you mention anything about the business opportunity to people. You need to stand there and talk with confidence and show that excitement and know in the back of your mind that if they do this, this is going to help them and this is going to change their life. So you have to have that belief that that is going to happen for this person. Okay? All right. And then last part for this section here before I go on to the next one. Anytime that there's any kind of business opportunity event coming up, I always go through and I private message and personally invite every single current and past challenger that I've ever had. I just let them know, like I check in, little personalized message at the beginning, and then I let them know that we have this coaching blitz and, you know, the scripts that I gave you guys, and I just use that. So I'm constantly going back to these people. All right. The fourth way to build your team is you can personally take the time to search for people who you think would make awesome coaches on your team. And so this takes a little bit longer, but you can personally look for these people. And so these people that you're going to be looking to could be new friends that were recently added to your network, maybe new people who you've been building relationships with from other groups on Facebook that you are a part of. Basically, if you look at this person and you think, oh, this person would be a good friend, you know, I could see myself hanging out with this person and talking to this person like one of my friends that I have now. That's a good sign because you want to attract people like you into your business. All right. So if someone looks like they'd be an awesome coach and looks like you'd get along with them great and that they'd be a good fit for your team, just tell them about this. Just let them know. Tell them about what you're doing. Show that excitement. You know, keep it brief and just let them know. You seriously will be so surprised, guys, with how many people want to know about this. And once you start talking about this, I'm telling you guys, it's kind of like when you made that first challenge group invite, right? Like remember back to that day when you made that first challenge group invite on Facebook, you guys, you know, you're probably so nervous. You didn't want to hit send. What is the person going to say? And then the more you did it, now you don't even think twice about it. You just invite because you love it. It's awesome. You know it's going to help them. It's the exact same thing, guys, when it comes to the business opportunity. And you don't need to have humongous success to show your success as a coach. You know, you can share little successes like that list that you're making. I mean, it could be the slightest thing. Like you were able to take your mom out to lunch with the income that you made from Beachbody. If you want to talk about income, like it could be something that small and that basic and that simple, you know. And if you want to go big and you're not there yet, don't be afraid to use the success that your upline coach is having. I mean, I did that all the time when I first became a coach. I was nowhere near where I wanted to be, and I talked about my little successes, but I also talked about my bigger vision for this, and I made it clear to people that that is where I was going. And I always shared my upline coach's success. So don't be afraid to take advantage of that as well. All right. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about, my last point on how to help build your team is by doing things that a successful business builder coach does. So what exactly do I mean by that? So that means successful business builders are people who are coaches who do the 4 vital behaviors every single day. They hit Success Club every single month. They're on the calls. They're on the national wake-up calls listening in. They attend events, Super Saturdays, Summit. They go to these things, okay? If you are doing all of those things and you are doing them consistently, you are so much more likely to attract those kind of coaches onto your team. You really are. You need to be doing those things to attract those kind of coaches to you. So just give yourself like an honest self-assessment, you know, every single day and ask yourself, you know, did I do the vital behaviors? Did I get my personal development in? Did I get my invites in? Did I follow up? Did I post on social media and share my journey? You know, did I add value today? All of those things. And make sure that you're sharing it, you know, especially with your personal development. Make sure you're sharing that every, you know, as much as possible, because you want to attract people into this business who want to work on personal growth. You know, you don't want the people who want a quick fix, because that's not what this is. So just remember that your coaches will mimic what you are doing. So whatever you are doing is what your coaches will do. Whatever you are doing now is what you're going to attract into this business, and that will be your team. Okay. And then also remember too, when you're posting on Facebook, really quick about the posting, don't be afraid to ask for hard workers. You know, it's like you can get a little nervous sometimes with the wording because, you know, you want to build your team, you want to have active coaches, but, you know, at the end of the day, you really want to make sure that you're getting good quality people onto your team. Like, you don't want to make this seem like this is just like a piece of cake, walk through the park, get rich quick thing, because that's not true. And then you're going to attract those kinds of people to you, and then they're not going to stick around. We know how that is. So don't be afraid to put it out there. You know, I want driven, hardworking people who are willing to fight for their dreams, and, you know, be specific. You're going to get less traction on it, but guess what? At the end of the day, it's going to weed out all of those people who can't go the distance, and you're going to be left with the ones who can. All right. And remember too, guys, this truly really is a gift. You know, I always think to myself, whenever I talk to anybody about this business opportunity, I always think about my coach telling me about this. And I always think about how it has been one of the biggest blessings for our family, and how it's completely changed things for us over here, and how I will be forever thankful for that. And that's what you need to think about when you're talking to people, that you can change somebody's life significantly. You can change the entire course of their future with this. And it's not our job to decide who should and shouldn't do this. It's our job to present it to as many people as possible, but let it be up to them to decide with whether or not this is or isn't for them. At least do your job and let them know about it. So never let a day go by that you do not share this gift and this opportunity with at least one person. All right. I'm just going to check the chat here. It's just about 9:30, so I wanted to keep it kind of quick. But if anybody has any questions, you can type them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. Do I private message challengers inviting to the Blitz, or do you announce it to everyone in your challenge group page? So I actually do both. I post it in the group. So I'll post like a regular big invite, you know, and I'll just say something like, you know, I hope you guys are loving the group. You know, I love all the engagement. It's an awesome group of people. If anyone was interested in learning more about what I do as a coach, tomorrow night we're going to be having this live coaching blitz for 1 hour. No strings attached to do anything. You can just be a fly on the wall and learn about this and see if maybe this is something you'd like to do in the future. It's a lot of fun. We're going to be doing a prize giveaway. So comment below if you'd like to be added to the group. So I'll do that. But then I also know too that there's a lot of challengers that, you know, you plug them into the groups and they just don't go into the groups. So I also will private message them, and I will personally invite them as well. If we are trying to move over to a business page rather than a personal page, would you suggest sharing the opportunity on one or the other, or both? So I have not switched over to my business page. So I use basically both exactly the same. I know I should be, but I haven't made that transition yet. So if I were you, I would do it on both. You know, people probably have different opinions, but I mean, I know I personally do it on both. And I know that if I only did it on my business page, you do get a lot less traction, you know. And then if I do it on my personal page, I get a lot more people who are interested. So I do it on both. Does anybody have anything else? You're welcome. What if we feel like we have exhausted the people we know to talk to? So one of the keys, guys, to prevent that from happening is to make sure that you're adding to your network every single day. So even if you're a brand new coach and you come on to the team and you're a coach, you should be adding friends to your list, new friends to your network every single day. So when I first became a coach, I had about, 300 friends. And at the rate that I was going, I knew I was going to blow through them all very quickly. So I had heard that you should be adding to your network. And so what I did was every single day, I would add at least 3 to 5 new friends to my network. So how I did this was I would go to one of my like high school friends, for example. I usually work with my high school friend list way back in the day, or my college friends list, or my track and field team, that I was part of. And I would go to them and I would click on their friends. And anytime that I saw that we had like 8 or more mutual friends in common, I would kind of hover over the friends that we had mutual. I'd make sure that there was no Beachbody coach that I knew of as a mutual friend, because if you see another coach, then that's like their territory. You don't want to be friend requesting them, But if I didn't see any friends, coaches, I would just send them a friend request. And so what this did was, these aren't people for you to just, start spamming and inviting them to things. These are new people for you to start to get to know and build new relationships with over time, because that does take a little bit of time. Versus like, your warm market that you start out with, it's not a big deal if you send them an invite to your challenge group or to the business opportunity, because you guys, you know each other from somewhere or something, they're friends with you. But someone new like this, you need to spend time, liking their posts, commenting on their posts, talking to them and getting to know them behind the scenes before you actually invite them to the challenge group. So you need to do that every single day. And it's impossible, guys, to run out of people. Like, it literally is impossible. I never, ever, ever have worried about running out of people, because it just can't happen. There's so many people. So that's one way. Another way too is to just join different groups on Facebook for things that you have in common. So if like you're a runner, you can become a part of a running group and you can start to meet new people and basically just make new friends, guys. Just be yourself and be genuine, and literally just pretend like you're out at, a class or at a party and you're talking and getting to know somebody for the first time. It's the exact same thing, just all on social media. But definitely do that every single day. All right, let's see here. Yep, there's the scripts. Yep, from yesterday's post in the Diamond Dash group, there are scripts there for what to say when you personally invite people. Don't be afraid to also make a public post on your wall as well, letting people know that we're going to be running it. I have people that are interested in the Blitz but are busy at the time it is scheduled. Can I still add them and have them access the Blitz after it's over when they have time? I mean, I've done it a couple ways, but honestly, like they're definitely not going to get the same energy. I mean, when they're in it live like that and the posts are going up every 5 minutes and people are engaging and are commenting and are liking and are sharing their things, and I'm going to go live at the beginning and I'm going to go live at the end, it's a totally different feel. And like I said, there's going to be a post that's going to go up every 5 minutes. So I mean, she could check it out the next day, but it's going to be kind of a lot of work to just go through each post, you know what I mean? Like on their own time. So, I mean, you could add them in, but it would definitely be better to get her into another Blitz when she's definitely going to have that time free to be in it and participate. Okay. Good. I'm glad you guys thought this was helpful. I'm reading here. Hold on. Yeah, I was hesitant to make a public post on my wall because I was under the impression that it was best to invite through a direct message. I mean, it definitely is better to invite to anything in private messages. I mean, I built my entire business off of private messages back and forth to people with that invite and getting to know them and building relationships with people. But it still doesn't hurt to post it on your wall publicly too, because for people who have been watching you, if you've been sharing your journey consistently, some people are intrigued. And so when they might see this opportunity, this 1 hour opportunity with no strings attached, they might be inclined to join it and check it out. So you never know. But definitely don't just rely on like the public post. It's the same thing with inviting challenge groups too. Private messages is the way to go. That's where all the action is. Okay, how do I organize who I have talked to and invited to which groups? Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm super unorganized. I am really, really, really unorganized. Honestly, I work off of a 5-subject notebook, total old school. But just do what works for you. I have tried tons of things. You know, there are coaches on my team who like to use Excel spreadsheets, and they keep track of everybody that way with who they invited, with the date, who they followed up with, you know, a little clip of what they said, of why they couldn't join or not this time and the reasons why, friends that they added. For me personally, I like to just see it all written out. So I use my 5-subject notebook. So just, you know, there's no right way to do it. You just have to do what works for you. So just try different things, and whatever you like the best, just stick with it. Yeah, the Power of 3 tracker is good too. You just need some way to track your business. That's really important. Otherwise, there's no way of seeing growth and where you need to improve. All right, any other questions, guys? All right, awesome. Well, thanks for being here tonight. You guys are awesome. Stick with this. Second week in, we had a ton of people on this call. Remember, just stay committed. Think of the reason why you're in this, your purpose for being in the Diamond Dash. You know, it's not just to become a diamond coach. It goes much deeper than that. And don't ever stop fighting for that, no matter what happens. Think of that every single day, and you will get there, guys. So I believe in you guys, and I can't wait to see you all tomorrow night in our Coaching Blitz. All right, have a good night, everyone. Bye.